Yo, how's it going, guys? Now we are going to do the end of year reset, and this is day one. This might be slightly more than 5 minutes, simply because I'm going to be breaking down, what we're going to be doing on this challenge, but at the same time doing day one as well. And then moving forward, I want to try and make them as short as possible, so you guys have got no excuse to do the actionable steps and get the key insights. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, obviously, the first lesson is going to be the gift and the curse, right? The gift and the curse of ADHD, where one decision, two timelines, your focus writes your future, right? This is something that really impacted my journey so much, is understanding this concept, right? And there's a film that I'm going to share with you in a moment that really ties in this concept very well. That I found out just recently, that was like, oh yeah, now I know why I like the film so much, right? So the tiny moment, there's one tiny moment that can create two completely different lives for you, right? And this is based on a movie. The analogy I'm going to be, or the thing I'm going to use as a way to drive this home is a film called Sliding Doors, and it's with Gwyneth Paltrow. She's the one who's the actress in the main character, and um, I don't want to give it away, but basically, all it is that Sliding Doors is that she makes decisions, and you can see the different lives that took place based on the decision that she made in the same situation scenario that she's in. So how I tie this into my story is that I got diagnosed with ADHD, right, July 2024, and um, there was just this kind of like like just a relief that like I found out now. I finally know that this is what it was all this time, right? But in the same breath that I'm doing that, there was like a little bit of like resentment. There was a little bit of like, I wish I knew sooner. There was a part of me that just wanted to go down this rabbit hole, which I've been used to doing all my life, basically self-sabotaging and just really thinking about the negative of everything. And like, I've been a positive person. Like, people would always have something to say about me in a positive light about who I am. Like, they didn't feel threatened in any way because I was masking so much. But the internal dialogue that was taking place was just insane. It was like a split, like it was just something I would never. I won't wish it on my enemy, right? The type of way that I used to speak to myself and the way I used to treat myself. I was just really insecure. I was very, very just I was just so annoyed with just some of the decisions I used to make and how I used to be. I just couldn't let things go, right? So your hyper focus is extremely powerful because, like, all I'd say is that a lot of people don't think that ADHD is a superpower, right? They will say that, right? And I'm not saying that they're wrong, and I'm not saying that I'm right. All I'm saying is that a superpower is a villain can have a superpower and a hero can have a superpower, right? So I'm giving you another concept that's just going to drive this home a bit more, right? The villain is using the superpower for evil. The hero's doing it to save the world, right? You need to see your character, the person that you've become right now, the same. You need to gamify this. You need to really look at this as like sliding doors, right? When you make a decision, that is going to impact the entire course of your life. So let's just really be intentional about how we use this hyper focus superpower of ours, right? I'm driving it home with this super power analogy because it's easier for you to see what's actually going on. And what took place for me is that I could have easily gone down rumination, shame, paralysis, right? Really just like self-sabotaging behavior and approach to this. Wish I knew sooner, man. Like, and stop blaming my parents and all this, like just starting to really go down like, yeah, but how did no one catch this sooner? I could have gone down that. Imagine if I did that. Yeah, I could have easily created this kind of like, I don't know what I would have turned into, right? But I'd have definitely turned into someone a bit different to I am right now, right? Instead, what I did is I lent into compassion, clarity, momentum, commitment. I committed to creating this school community that I run with 4K members inside, right? And when I did that, there was no clarity really on how I was going to grow this community and what kind of impact I was going to make and if I was even going to grow more than 5 or 10 members in the community. There was no, there was clarity on what I wanted it to look like, and I just kept on focusing on that. I focused on the commitment. And what the commitment was is that I'd left after being diagnosed, and I remember the meltdown that I had that led me to therapy. That therapy session, I remember this the therapy session that led me to getting the diagnosis, because I was like saying stuff to her, and she was like, "This is sounding a bit like ADHD, you know." But there's a thin line between trauma and ADHD. I think you should, get an assessment. That changed my life. If I didn't go into therapy, maybe I would have known. I would have still been just like, I don't know. Maybe I still be my 9 to 5 right now. I don't know. Like, but what I do know is I made a decision to commit to this journey of trying to help people catch it sooner, trying to make people see that you can control your destiny. You can control where this goes, because you can actually see the timeline for what happened with me. You can just scroll back to the beginning, right? You can go back to July. You can scroll all the way down, flipping social media of Instagram. You can go to the first video I posted on um, YouTube. You can go to my art account when, I retired as an artist. As soon as I got diagnosed with ADHD, I retired as an artist. I actually grew my social media following on my art account to 100K followers, and it went down more and more and more over the year because people saw that I'm no longer posting on the page, so they started leaving. Right, of course, I was losing followers. I think now it's at probably at 80K followers now. Um, and at the time, obviously, I just decided that I'm going to put that on the back burner and then put all my attention um, ADHD. And in July, I created a fresh new account. I didn't care that I had 100K followers there, and I could have continued and pursued art. And yeah, I could have pursued art, but I looked at both and I was just like, yeah, it's this one here, man. I need to lean into this one, because this one here, it's going to transform lives. This one here is a vanity metric thing where how many views did I get for that art piece? And, like the toxic, like kind of like, oh, is he drawing by hand or is he using AI? And I was doing both, but everyone just, like it's just very toxic. It's like, yeah, it just wasn't like, I don't even need to go into this. I think you kind of know where I'm going to go at, because it's going to end up making the video longer, but I'll just let you use the imagination, right? What I'm doing now is more impactful on the journey. I'm changing people's lives. People write to me every day, tell me thank you for the posts and everything. Yeah, I done the right choice, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that there's a gift in choosing where you point your focus. Like I just said, I could have hyper focused on the art. That would have gone very well, right? But it just, yeah, it was a thing that I enjoyed as a hobby. I ended up having people inquiring to get art pieces done for them. I was charging very low. Yeah, it was just very, just like, it was burning me. It actually, the thing that got me burnt out, because I was doing commissions and I was trying to be a manager at the same time in my 9 to 5. I had a side hustle with the art, and I was trying to do them both together. It was hard. So I say that to say this: when you hyper focus on one thing, what happens is, what happened to me is I ended up leaving my 9 to 5 because I was just focusing only on this. Right. Yeah, there were a few other things that started coming into the journey where I started, oh yeah, the shiny objects. Yeah, there were shiny objects, right? But I was starting to slowly understand what things should be removed from the journey. But I had to learn it the hard way. I had to learn it by noticing that I'm following too many accounts and then unfollowing everyone. Like, I don't follow anyone on social media right now. Like if you look at my Instagram, it's at 0 following, right? Like, it's just something I had to do. On school, the same. Like, I just had to unfollow everyone. It's just one of the things I had to do, right? But in the beginning, it wasn't the case, right? It was the opposite. But what I'm trying to say here is that I left my 9 to 5, and leaving my 9 to 5 was probably one of the hardest things I've done in my life. And I still can't forget the moment I told my manager I was going to leave, and her crying, and I was in a room with her alone, because obviously we didn't want to talk about upstairs, and it was kind of confidential stuff, and there's personal things that were tied into my life as well that were really challenging. Like, my partner was on a sick leave and I had to be with her, and I also didn't want to continue this career, and that was there's just two things that were just like, Mike, you need to leave, right? And I made the exit, right? But I had to hyper focus on building this business model. I had no savings, right? I had no emergency fund. Yeah, I'd made enough money. I think I'd crossed 10K, right, online. And I just spent it on software and all these different things that I thought I needed and all this stuff. Yeah, and I invested in some like programs, mentors, and some things weren't really worth the money, and some things were. And yeah, I learned the hard way, right? But I got to a point where um, I had to basically lean into the content creation and the coaching and really just make it work. And as I was doing that, I was leaning into how can I get better at this? How can I get better? And the only thing I could really focus on was this, right? So it obviously worked out because I just kept on focusing on this. And I just believed in that this was going to work. I was putting my focus on what my mentors tell me to do, what they tell me to focus on. I kept on focusing on that stuff. Grew my social media following online to 200K followers um, across IG, TikTok, right? And built the ADHD reset course. I think that course was, I think there's a couple of days it took me to record the course, right? Um, and it's just because I was just focusing on that. And yeah, there were many bad decisions that I made and things that I did wrong on the journey. Like there was so many mistakes, man. There was so many mistakes. But it's created the course that you see in this community today. This challenge that we're going to do, and the clients that I've worked with and the changes that they've made in their life, it all came from all the mess ups and the at both, right? So your focus isn't the problem, it's just how you direct it, right? And that's the reason why I want to drive home my example because it really does make you see like I was literally like the opposite of where I am now, like literally. And today's task that I want you to lean into is two very simple questions. Like you can just write a comment underneath the post. This is going to be on YouTube as well. So for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description for the community if you want to actually join a community of like-minded people who you can actually do this challenge with as well. Feel free to sign up, and then you can actually obviously do it under the post that's inside the community, or you could do it on YouTube, wherever you are, right? But choose your door. I want you to choose a door today. You saw what one I chose, right? And this is where it's taken me, right? What we want to focus on really is there's 20 days where we're going to be moving from awareness, direction, habits, and dopamine, right? Each of these are pillars in this challenge, and there's going to be 5 simple lessons. I don't know how long I've done this video. Maybe it's about 10 minutes in now, I think, but I'm going to try to make it under 10 minutes each lesson, okay? And we're going to drive home some of the key points that made a difference in each of those modules, right? Each of those concepts, they all have something that's contributed to who I am today. And hopefully you could just implement the stuff yourself and get there faster than I did, right? So I want you to write down one belief you're stepping out of. You need to say goodbye to it now in December. Perfect timing for next year. You're not bringing it into 2026. What is that thing? What's the old narrative? What is the shame? What is the story that no longer serves you? What is it? Call it out, add it in a comment, tell me what it is, or write it down in your journal, whatever you want to do. But inside of the community, what we're doing is a challenge where if you participate by commenting each of the tasks each day, and you do that for the duration of it, there's a little gift I'm going to give to everyone who completes the whole entire thing that I'll give you at the end, which is going to be a surprise. I won't say where it is. And then there's another thing for the top 10 of the leaderboard are going to get that is actually worth money, right? Because it took me a long time to create it. And I'm giving the top 10 on the leaderboard that option for that. So, yeah. Anyway, so just call it out, whatever it is. Like for example, I'm broken. I'm too broken for success. I'm an imposter. Like there's so many people that tell me how much they suffer from imposter syndrome. Like, are you gonna just leave that here in 2025 and say goodbye to it? Then there's one belief you want to step into. What is that? New timeline, right? The direction. The truth is choosing to embody, like embrace, right? what belief you're going to embrace right now that is the person you want to become. Just think about it a little bit. Like, I'm sure this will take you 5 minutes, guys. This exercise, just do it. It's the same thing I did. It took me 5, 10 minutes. Like, look, man, like it's a very crystal clear transformation. I try to document the whole thing, like so everyone can go back and see. But I really, really did. I really did transform, man. Like sometimes I have to pinch myself because it's just really crazy that I'm in this position right now. But um, like it all makes sense why. Like I'm starting to see the pattern of why, right? And I just want to share it with you guys so that you can just use this gift that we have, right? This isn't just a reflection. Like this is the moment you choose which sliding door you walk through, right? And I think for some people, they're thinking that the door, oh yeah, it's closed, so surely there's no way to get in. You're assuming that there was a key that locked it completely, and you go to the door and you just push it, and it's, oh shit, just open. It was open. Oh. Like that's what you've got to see this like, open the door, open the door to possibility, right? And just see where it takes you. And you're one focus shift away from a completely different life. Like I, I don't know, man. Like I'm just trying to I'm just hoping that um with Ethic Achieve in 2026, you just get to really see that this actually works because there's a 10x that I'm going to be doing in 2026 from where I'm now that will maybe drive the home the idea home even more, right? I feel like maybe I need to give more evidence of this concept, maybe, but um yeah, like you really are just one focus shift away from this, like this change, right? And the reason why I have a coaching program in the first place, right, is because everyone knows what to do, but they're not doing it. And I said to myself, like, I've got time in my calendar. I'm making sure I put time in my calendar allocated for people who are willing to change, right? And that's the whole reason why I do it. Like, no other reason other than that, like, I really think it's worth taking an hour of my day for someone who wants to invest in himself and they want to learn from someone who's been there, right? But then on the same breath, I don't want it just to be about that. I want it to be about here's the people that really, really can't do that. They're not in a position to do that because there was a moment where in my journey I wasn't in the position to do that either, right? So I just acknowledge that and I accept it, right? Is that yeah, look, there's everyone's on their different journeys. A year ago, there was absolutely no way I was going to spend 5, 10K on anything, nothing. Like I'm very like yeah, like I remember like even trying to pay 100 for something. Oh, 100, man, like that felt like a lot. 100 a month, oh, right? To now like just I threw 5K on a program the other day. Like it's just like, guys, yeah, everyone's at their own pace, but be where you are, but make some progress. And I'm gonna leave the video at that. But this is day one. Um, be back tomorrow for day two, and try and follow this whole thing through in one go. Because by the time you get to day 20, I'm pretty sure you're going to be prepared for 2026. And my goal is to make sure that you can do that and invest in yourself in some way. Like, but you have to invest a bit of time, obviously, of your day. And yeah, you just have to choose what's more where the priority lies at the moment. Does it lie on you, making this change, or is it, you know, you just need to lean into like that change is uncomfortable, right? But I want to try and make it as simple as possible for you to do. So yeah, I hope this helps. Anyway, take care. Peace.